What's going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're about 48 hours away from merging into a new server for New World. Hopefully this is going to bring more into the game and allow people to kind of have more activity. Now, I've been on both a busy server and not only that, but a very slow server. So I've experienced both ends of that. And I'm going to explain to you guys in this video what are the differences between the two servers and give you two examples of exactly what's going to happen as we do a server merge over the next few weeks. All right, guys, so let's talk about being on a slow server first, because that's where we're at. We're going to be merging with YGG and 4 other servers. So we've noticed New World has probably recognized the problem of low pop servers and wants to bring them more dense player population, so that way you kind of get a little bit more enjoyment. You kind of do more of the end game activities. There's definitely a lot of stuff that is a bonus when you're on a busier server, but there's also perks of being on a smaller server. So we're going to go over all that today and kind of talk about exactly what the perks are of the pros and the cons of both. So let's kind of start with the pros of being in a small server. One of the biggest thing I've noticed is that the people who are dedicating to playing are normally always on, and you kind of get the same group of people. Not saying you can't do this in a big server, but if you really think about it, in a smaller server, you're running the same thing with the same people and over, so you get a better vibe of exactly how it is done. Also, get to know those people. The companies are definitely a lot more active, and what I mean by that is the people inside the companies are currently doing more stuff rather than a big company. So if I have 100 players in a huge server online, maybe only 20 of them are active at a time, whereas in this server, if I have 30 people in my company, all 30 people are active. So that is a major bonus in my eyes of being on a smaller server, is that your company is a lot more active for being around, and that kind of makes for good teamwork, good coordination. You join discords, everybody's in there, or if you're in a, you need help, majority of the time it's going to be the company that you join or the syndicate, which is a very positive thing for us on this type of thing. Not only that, but resource availability. Perk of being on a small server is definitely the resources available. If I want to go get woodward trees, I can go to pretty much any location and they're always going to be there. So honestly, there's only at any given time on this server probably about 80 people playing, so the odds are that you running into somebody is very unlikely. It is kind of crazy that all these resources are available. So this also would make these items cheaper, because if you can't buy them on the auction house, or you don't want to buy them on the auction house, you can actually run around and just go get them yourself. And if you use the resource map properly, you can do this very efficiently and make it very effective for yourself as you kind of farm those items. It's honestly great. There's been items that I've wanted to kind of level up and skill, and it's been hard because if you're doing wood cutting and you need woodward trees and everybody's farming them, it's a pain in the butt to get them and able to actually get leveled up. Then you're stuck doing regular trees, and it takes forever, and logging is one of the hardest skills to kind of get up. It's very time consuming, depending on what you have. If you have logging gear on, 300 constitution, it goes of course a lot faster. Having these resources available is awesome. Not only wood cutting, but also mining. I have a mining route right outside of Cutlass Keys, and I can go hit it at any point in time in which I deem fit, and there's never anybody on it. I can get silver, gold, lodestone, there's a little bit of orichalcum on this route, iron, anything that you really want. You can get all types of mining rocks along this route, and it's honestly been beautiful because I can raise my mining faster than ever before. Not only that, but I'm getting resources that I actually need, and actually I could resell to make money or use them to create armor and or other items. Not only that, but soul worms and all those other items, they're always available. I mean, just walk up to a random one and look, all 3 of these are available. And honestly, it's like if you need soul motes or anything like that, or you're looking to sell them, I'm getting 30 plus per one. I know there's like 3 in this area. I know there's another one similar somewhere around here that are usually normally always available, and I'm able to grab them and use them, or grab them and actually make some money off of them. But not only is the chat rough, if you want to take a look at people's crafting stations, they're not all tier 5. When you start to look at areas and you start to deep down into them, you're not getting tier 5 crafting or refining stations in a lot of these areas. And that is kind of a struggle and a motivation to kind of get everything built up, but you struggle with anything to high tier in order to craft, because a lot of areas don't even have the crafting resources available, or the stations or the refining stations, in order to make this happen. So it's kind of really crazy that in these smaller servers we have people with 200 skill sets, because literally I don't think there's a place that really has a lot of tier 4 or all tier 4 refining and crafting guides. And that's a major problem when it comes to literally leveling your skills. If you don't have tier 4, tier 5, you're not going to be able to make the best stuff available, and that is a major problem in my eyes. And that's something that really sucks in these servers. And not only that, but usually this territory is owned. Because it is smaller, there's a little bit more of a hostile environment. So even when you do have tier 5 stuff, people are going to come declare war, and you have invasions that you have to protect against. And if you don't have enough people in your company, it's hard to defend these types of things. And not only that, but other people can take your territories and have to restart from the bottom up. So there is definitely some minuses to being in a smaller server. Portal runs non-existent. I have not seen one portal run since I have been in this server for the past few weeks, and that's kind of disappointing, because that's a good way of getting experience, chests, some gypsum if you need it, and a lot of different things. So there is definitely a big difference in these kind of things, and I'll kind of show you as we switch over to the new server after this video is put together, and kind of like exactly what I'm showing you. That there's no tier 5, no tier 2, portal runs aren't going, chest runs are they're doable, but they're a lot harder on this server. Not only that, but they're a lot rarer. So there's a couple different things that we have to go through in order to show it. Now, some of the cons of this is where it kind of gets downfall. So items for sale, that's where it gets very tricky. When you start to look for, if we put in like air quintessence, there's none for sale. Now, if I'm in a busier server, potentially there's a lot more for sale. But not only that, but there's a lot of resources that are not on the auction house, like literally are not on the auction house, and that is a major problem. Or if they are on the auction house, some people are asking ridiculous amounts of money for them. So that's kind of a negative here. But also, armor selective is low and not the greatest. If we go highest to lowest, I mean, we have no literally legendary warhammers on the trading block right now. On a busier server, you usually do. You have a large amount of tier 5 weapons that are legendary that you can select from, ranging from hundreds of thousands to hundreds of dollars. So it's got its perks, but it's definitely got its minuses. If you're more of a farmer and you want a resource with not a lot of people in your area, a slower server is definitely a perk to this. Not only that, but when we look at the channels here, when you look at recruitment, they're not going by, you know, it's really not that active. I was on Camelot, which was running probably 4 or 5 chest runs a day, where here we have literally maybe 1 chest run, and there's only 40 people. Where on a busier server, you can range hundreds of people following you, so you don't get attacked as easily, and monsters get dived a lot easy, or go down a lot easier. Definitely not the best thing, but when you do run a dungeon, people are excited to kind of play the dungeon and run with you. If you have a higher tier orb such as Gen, Laz, or Tempest, people are always willing to hop in. But the downfall there is people haven't ran it or haven't completed it, and they don't always know what to do. There's definitely instances like that across the board. So active companies are good, but not a lot of people, but slow recruitment in the world, because let alone there's only like usually 80 to 75 people online. Well guys, I hope you understand what the difference between a busy and a slow server is. If you are thinking about changing in the future, here are some pros and some cons in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and if you did, be sure to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below of what world you guys are in. Maybe you're in the same server as I am. Maybe we can party up, go do some dungeons, or I can help you out, add you to my friends list. Be sure to have a good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.